I'm not a morning person.
Dedicated to being passionate about it.
Bodybuilders have become more lazy.
People have always thought I lift fake weights.
Iran and the United States.
You take responsibility for that.
So how did you feel about a 2020 Olympia and the results of Men's Open? How did you feel about it?
I thought they should have sent Dex out better than what they did. That's the only, I mean, I'm a Dexter Jackson diehard fan. I any of those guys, because like in a COVID year, any of 5 or 6 guys could have probably won that show, and that's the truth with any bodybuilding show. On any show, like maybe 3 or 4 up to 5 guys could have. If you won the show, it's like, oh. But for Dexter to get, I think they placed him 9th. And the most winningest guy, and like I said with Ramy, I mean, if you would have gave it to Dex just because it was his last show, I wouldn't have been mad. He didn't, because and just like I said, at any show, the difference between the guy who won the show and the guy that placed number 9 is not a big difference. It all depends on what you're looking for.
So you saying, Mel, you saying that Dexter could have won? Like, in your opinion, he won the show?
If they would have gave him, the show, I wouldn't have been mad.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what anybody could say about bodybuilding, you could be mad, but you win a bodybuilding show because they said you won the bodybuilding show. That's how you win a bodybuilding show.
Right. Judges,
how many shows that anybody and it'd be like and the runner-up is so-and-so, and you'd be like, oh, because you knew this guy was going to win, but that guy didn't win. That guy won. And why did he win? Because they said he won. How does Sean Roden win a bodybuilding show just because he was the only guy that had flat ass? How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's bodybuilding. Ramy won the show, but I mean, I don't think nobody came across as really good enough. I mean, you could have gave it to, I don't know, William Bonac. Okay, he's a good bodybuilder, but is he built better than Dex? No. Is Ramy built better than Dex? If we talking about just bodybuilding symmetry.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those guys got a better body than Dex? They don't. But they'll find reasons not to give it to Dex.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's personal. I mean, like look, he won, and I say this all the time. I talk bodybuilding with guys all the time. He beat Jay when Jay was Jay. Mm-hmm. Jay beat Ronnie when Ronnie was Ronnie. So why did Dex never beat Ronnie when he beat Jay and Jay beat Ronnie? And there has been times when Dex was in way better condition than both them guys in Olympia, and he'll place 4th or 5th. And he's in way better condition. But they just, like I said, when you win a bodybuilding show, they just said you won the show. That's the way bodybuilding is. If you go through the history of bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger came off the street and won the show. Like he wasn't even going to be in the show. He just walked in the building. Okay, yeah, I'm doing the show. They let him do the show when he won the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's bodybuilding. I mean, and you gotta love it. And many times, and I ain't gonna go to another show and then I'm right out. I'm right, in the cheap seats. Just cheering everybody on. It's bodybuilding. I mean, you gotta love it, because more the thrill of victory is definitely a lot of that agony of defeat involved. You know what I mean? So, like I said, on the 2020 Olympia, you had all them guys. I didn't really see a clear-cut winner like that. And like I said, if I would have did it, I would have just gave it to Dex because it was going to be his last year anyway. Just give it to him.
I hear you. So what did you think about Phil Keith's comeback? Are you impressed?
Well, if he didn't solve the gut problem, he shouldn't have did the show. And I think Phil Heath is a great bodybuilder. I still think, minus the gut, he didn't look too far off of whoever else was there. But like I said, he just got to solve his gut problem. That's all he has to do. Which for me, I don't see that as an exact problem because it ain't like Ronnie and Jay always had washboard abs and flat stomachs. It's like they held certain era bodybuilder to a certain criteria that I don't know. I don't know if you could keep up with it. Just like like I said, after Big Ramy wins this Olympia, now everybody else got to put on 40 pounds, and who's going to do that? That's like back when Dorian Yates first took started winning the Sandals,
Right.
and Kaspari and all them guys, Porter Cottrell, all them guys, they had to stop doing it. And these was good, these was good bodybuilders that had great bodies. And they, because they couldn't keep up. They're not going to go from one season to the next season and put on 40 pounds of muscles like it was one epic a magazine, a Flex magazine. It had and I remember that was the first magazine I bought. It had a yellow cover in black, and it had Dorian Yates. It was a black and white picture, and he looked big as hell. Like on one, and then on the right side he was huge. So like he put on like 20, 25, 30 pounds of muscle. But Dorian could do that.
Right.
But Kaspari couldn't do it. Kaspari and what's the other brother? He has the bars. I'm having a senior moment, but he was a great bodybuilder. And all of those guys, Porter Cottrell, he was one of my favorite bodybuilders. They had to stop doing it. So right now, you're going to have some bodybuilders that could have continued to do it had they would have just, keep it to a normal weight. But they went for the mass monsters. So now who's going to compete now? Rolly.
Right. Really, yeah.
That's that, and who else?
I mean,
you have to like some of the younger guys coming up, but
yeah.
It's not like it's more likely that they won't win a show because now like I said, Ramy, unless it's somebody that would come in. I mean, and they really can't. They stuck with Big Ramy for about another 3 or 4 years.